Okay, all right, just toying around a little bit. Guys, welcome back. This is Eric here with Guitarsenal. I'm going to be showing you a really cool and quirky special guitar. This is a 1960 Silvertone 1420. All right, we're getting some line noise. I'm going to kill these drives because they're adding a little bit of noise there. And this is a kind of a department store guitar. These were sold through a variety of department stores as kind of a cheap, inexpensive, beginner's guitar. They are not very expensive on the vintage market. It is a bolt-on neck. This is a well-used guitar. You can see all the paint's worn off. I'm playing it with a capo, trying to get a little bluesy sound out of it. It is a hollow body guitar. Relatively decent construction. They weren't very expensive at all. They were really intended for beginners, but in the collector's world for quirky vintage guitars, I believe these things offer a good bit of value to the potential collector. I mean, you're not going to buy very many guitars from 1960 that you can buy for under 500 bucks, but this is one of those examples. And I thought this one just had some really cool playing wear and had really been played a lot, so I figured, man, this has to be a pretty decent one in order for someone to have hung on to it for this long. I did have the luthier go through and refret this one, so it would be playing decent enough for us to make a video. The frets were completely shot on this guitar. I had the luthier add some side dots, so we did make a minor modification there just to add the side dots. But it says a Brazilian rosewood neck slab on this guitar, and it's well worn. So, back then they were using what was cheap, and Brazilian rosewood was cheap. They had a lot of it laying around. I love that the tone and volume knobs on this little guy look like little cupcakes. Upside down cupcakes. How cute are they? Little cupcakes. You just grab the knob off and eat it. I wouldn't recommend that, but you could if you really wanted to. And man, the switching on this guitar. This switch is gnarly. I mean, you could put that on a space shuttle and it would be suitable. I mean, very tough Stratocaster / Telecaster style switch with a Tele style top hat on it. The pots date to 1960. Original pots, original pickups. These pickups were wound by DeArmond. They were making a lot of pickups for cheaper guitars back in the day. You're probably more familiar with the silver and gold foil pickups that were in some of the other Silvertone, Danelectro, K models, things like that. Not Danelectros, but the Ks and Silvertones that were out there. These are what they call the Hershey Bar Pickups. They're single coil pickups. They're wound extremely low, like they're super low output. And when you hit this guitar with a drive, it gets this kind of resonating, like feeding back kind of thing. So it's great for that sort of on the verge of nuclear destruction sound, kind of like we had in the intro there. When you want to play some spacey, crazy, bluesy stuff, it's kind of good for that. I'll leave the capo on, and I'll just stay in G here. And look, I'll hit it with a drive here. And it's just so cool to get those kind of feedback and kind of sounds out of it. It's just such a unique type of tone. And we'll go through some of the other sounds that the guitar can make as well. But it's just, really neat. You know what I mean? For that sort of thing. It can get that sort of bluesy, crunchy, on the verge of nuclear destruction type sound. Let's get over to the rhythm pickup, the neck pickup. This guitar is a little sedate. It's definitely not a crazy crunch monster you're going to expect out of a humbucking guitar from the era. But as a student, if you were given this guitar as your first guitar, completely capable of learning on this instrument, no problem. It can get some really nice sounds. And I'll drop the capo in a minute and tune up, and we'll listen to it like normal too. But very sedate, you know, real simple. All right, let's tune up. I mean, the clean sounds are extremely sedate, dare I say, almost anemic out of this instrument. The bridge pickup has not a lot of punch, but a nice clean articulation. I'm probably not in tune, I apologize. These are original tuners, so we didn't want to really mess with the guitar too much. I want to try to keep it as original as possible. Whenever I get these vintage instruments in, I do just enough to make them playable and make them where they can be tolerated, I guess you would say. All right, here's the bridge pickup. Very warm and open sound with a capo especially. What a great guitar, you know. It's not going to be a one-trick pony for every little thing that you'd want to try to do with it, but it can get some very folkish, garage-ish type sounds. It's a great sort of thrashy guitar that you can really get some open, crazy, feedbacking kind of things out of with a drive pickup, and get that kind of low wound sort of thing that you get out of like the lipstick pickups in the Danelectro. Now I will say that in terms of single coil pickups in some of these department store guitars, I really do prefer the DC2, the Danelectro offering. I think it's a little bit superior of a guitar, a little bit better sound. But maybe with a good rewind on these pickups to get them a little bit hotter and a little more articulate could probably be a good winner. So just bear in mind that, you know, these guitars are getting old. So they're going to have their quirks. Let me see if I'm in tune here. All right, got her tuned back up. We'll go through the normal settings without, you know, capo or anything. Real quick here. I know this video is getting long. I want to let you hear some of the sounds, okay? that sort of feeding back, crazy kind of thing. It's a cool, quirky guitar with some really quirky sounds, and I'm trying to give you an idea of what this guitar sounds like. The playability is definitely not bad. It's got some great tones in it. Very playable neck, very comfortable neck on this guitar. This would be a great guitar for somebody that's in, like, maybe, I don't know, like a little Beatles cover band. You're trying to get that jangly kind of thing going on. It can do that. So guys, thanks for tuning in. I wanted to give you an idea what this guitar can sound like. And just for fun, I'm going to kick it on the bridge pickup, play some single lines with an Alfonso Hermida Zen Drive. All right, hopefully this doesn't blow us into nuclear territory, but let's give it a try. Oh boy. All right, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the flubs. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what this guitar can sound like. So here we go. Zen Drive, 1960 DeArmond Hershey Bar Pickup in the bridge here. All right, let's do it.